What is up, everybody? We are back here on another Saturday edition of Hobby Hotline. Today's episode is about 256, which is pretty wild. I remember back in the day, my first episode actually was episode 100, and that had to have been, I guess, over a year ago, which is pretty wild. So we also have two wonderful co-hosts here with me today. We've got Logan from NASCAR Card, and then Mike from Junk Wax Hero. Logan, how are we doing today?
We're doing okay. We've had a lot of weird weather here and a lot of issues, and right now we have no water to drink. It's not even drinkable. So, but we're having a good time. So I'm glad to be here.
Getting through it there. Yeah, and then we'll kick it over to you, Mike. How are you doing today?
Good. Water's overrated, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. You'll be fine. I'm excited to be here. Excited for the National this coming week. Excited for the comments. This is my favorite part about being on this show is the comments. People will ask great questions. They make great points. So, yeah, excited about
Absolutely. Yeah, shout out to the commenters and the chatters. Very exciting week coming up for many of us. We've got the National. I know I'm gonna be there. Luckily, I kind of made some last minute plans, and I'll be heading out to Chicago on Tuesday. My full-time job is all remote, so I can work from the hotel on Tuesday and then kind of work throughout the week, which is really, that's pretty exciting. Both of you guys are going. Mike, you're going, right?
Yeah, I'll be there Wednesday. I anticipate being in the show for at least parts of 4 days: Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Awesome. And then Logan, you're going to be there as well?
Yeah, I'll be there Tuesday, and I'll be there through Sunday morning.
Nice.
So can't wait. My son and I are actually going to leave like late Monday, and then drive halfway, and then drive in on Tuesday morning.
Nice. That's always fun making a trip out of it. Also very exciting. We will be on the main stage. Hobby Hotline will be on the main stage, basically the same time. I think it'll be an hour different, so it'll be noon. It'll be noon Eastern, I think. I'm pretty sure. But 11 a.m. Central Time will be on the main stage. Hobby Hotline will be there at the National on Saturday. So if you're at the National and you want to come check out the show live, I don't know if we'll be doing any comments. Like if people want to shout out their comments that they would normally leave in the chat, maybe we'll do a little bit of a Q&A session. I'm not sure exactly what we have planned. We'll probably just do like a normal show, react to some of the news that's kind of gone on at the National so far. So to kick things off, we are going to get into some National talk, but we are actually going to first talk about a couple things that happened this week. With the National, I'm sure we all probably have seen the news cycle over the past few years with the National. Things leading up to it can be a little bit slow, but this week actually is going to be the Topps Chrome release week, and they came out with a new style refractor. They had there was a taco refractor, there was a frozen, I think it was a frozen refractor. These are all coming out of Topps Chrome, and I did see an interesting kind of topic that I'm interested to hear your guys' opinion on. Is Topps Chrome becoming too watered down in terms of Topps Chrome being used within Topps? So I have my own opinion, but I'll let you guys go first. Mike, kind of what are your thoughts on Topps Chrome baseball? Is it becoming too watered down? Do you think people are losing interest? Do you think these taco refractors are kind of just like a weird thing that they're trying to throw out? What are your kind of overall thoughts on the Topps Chrome release?
So first of all, the taco refractor isn't for me, but that's okay. I mean, there are people who are really excited about it. Same with the frozen refractor, which when that was announced back in the spring or late winter, maybe, it was supposed to be negative numbered, so they would be numbered to -5 or something. I still don't get that, and I don't really care either because I won't be collecting them. But yes, they're definitely watered down. I think that most sets that aren't high end, although even those are probably a little bit watered down compared to how they used to be. But especially the ones that are retail based, like Chrome, Heritage, are going to be very watered down, and they're trying to appeal to a very, very, very broad audience.
Yeah, and Logan, what are your thoughts on Topps Chrome? I mean, I know you're a big NASCAR guy. I don't know if Topps Panini has the NASCAR license, so technically, I guess there aren't any, or I don't know. I guess maybe it doesn't work where maybe they do. Does Topps make any NASCAR cards, or is it all Panini right now?
No, the only Topps cards that or Topps cards that have ever been made for NASCAR are the E-Tops. So that's a while. But, just as an outsider looking in on this, I think it's watered down for sure. I guess maybe if they had a Bucky's refractor or something, Bucky's chrome card, maybe I'd be cool with that. But
yeah.
no, I'm not a fan. I think it's too watered down. It's too much. And it's like you say, they're trying to appeal to a much broader spectrum of folks. And I mean, you can't make everybody happy. So I don't know why they're even trying to do this, but that's just my opinion.
It used to be a lot more fun to rip wax, and it's just not as much anymore, especially retail, or particularly retail. You're just getting mostly base cards. Last year, just a year ago, you could rip a hanger of Topps Chrome and get some really good stuff, and not anymore. It's a shame.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the tweet exactly. I thought I had bookmarked it, but I guess I may not have, of how many different Topps Chrome products there are, because you got like Topps Chrome, you got the Topps Chrome Sapphire, you've got like Topps Chrome Ben Baller. I mean, I think that was kind of the whole point of the discussion, was just that there are so many different types of Topps Chromes now that, and I mean, especially with this rookie class, I think this actually might be one of the better rookie classes when it comes to a Topps Chrome product, like the first Topps Chrome, because then they do Topps Chrome update later on in the year. But I mean, for the most part, like, you're seeing basically all the rookies from Series 1 and Series 2 are going to be in this year's Topps Chrome. And I think the topic that I have thought about for a while is like how products are structured, and like if they should be using like if they should be using the Topps Chrome brand more often, which is actually sort of what they're doing. Because like when I was thinking about it back in like a while ago, it's not necessarily, it maybe kind of did come to fruition a little bit, if I'm going to be honest. Like, I was thinking like one of the companies should try and do more stuff the way that they do it with like Optic and Donruss, where like the overarching brand has like more of a has just essentially more products within it. Like, so they would do like a Prism thing, and they would do like, that would be the overarching brand, and then underneath that they would do products around that. And I guess in practice we're kind of seeing them do that with Topps Chrome. And I mean, I guess we'll see if it's good. I mean, I do think that more Topps Chrome product is going to be good, because it is, it's always fun to kind of rip Topps Chrome. I mean, I think that's one of the fun products. It's a flagship product. It's one of the fun products that, comes out every single year. So, I mean, Mike, I'll ask you the question, like, is Topps Chrome something that you look forward to, or is it kind of just something that, sort of falls by the wayside with how many other products there are coming out every single year?
Yeah, I love Topps Chrome. I won't be. I always say this, and then I end up doing it. I'll say I won't buy any wax, but I know I will. I don't know. Ziggy here said something about buying a box of Chrome at the National for the Silver Pack promo. I'm not familiar with that, so Ziggy, if you want to share what that is. I think I prefer buying singles of guys that I collect, and I want Chrome refractor rookies is my favorite. But I'm also not chasing rainbows. I don't care if it's numbered to 5 or 10 or 50 or whatever. Just give me the card of the guy I want.
Right. Yeah, definitely. I feel that way too. I mean, I'll actually kind of ask you a similar question that what we just said there, Logan. For you, like, are you, I know you've told us in the chat and everything about like how you collect a lot of the people who have won the NASCAR Cup, like you collect autographs of them. So is that sort of your plan throughout everything that you're doing in the hobby? Like, do you buy really any wax, or are you buying mostly singles, or are you buying kind of mostly these autographs? Like, what's the style that you buy in, I guess, is maybe the question that I have for you.
Well, I mean, it's a little of everything. I like to buy wax, with NASCAR, Panini does, I think they have Donruss, Prism, Chronicles, and National Treasures. So there's 4 issues a year that we get. It's not like 4 issues a week for baseball like you guys seem to get. It's I don't know that I could keep up with that, but I do buy wax. I do like to buy singles. For example, this year, Panini is doing some 75th anniversary NASCAR autographs, and there's 5 different autographs, and and the crazy thing is they're all redemptions right now. So I have bought all these redemption cards for the autographs. So hopefully I will get them all. But I do like, in lieu of spending, $150, $200, whatever, for a box, I like to go out and buy the cards that I want to get. That way I know I'm going to get what I want versus getting something that I probably may not like or may not want.
Right, that makes sense. Actually, I did find the tweet here. I'm going to actually pull it up with all of the. So it's from those back pages. So here's the list of basically all the. Well, this is from 20. Here's the different 2022 versions Topps had released for last year's Topps Chrome, which it does seem like there is a lot of different releases with this Topps Chrome product. I guess this is sort of the conversation that I think that I've had in the past, where I'm like, is it good that they're using the one brand as sort of the brand, or is it just like, should it just be kind of its own? Should Topps Chrome be a standalone, and then they figure out the naming convention, or they come out with a new product? But I guess I think it can be kind of tough if you're Topps, like if you're trying to come out with as many products as you are, what is your route to trying to sell them? And maybe this is just it. Maybe it's using this overarching Topps Chrome branding and trying to sell it. And Mike, I'll ask you this question: Do you think that they should be coming out with all these products under the Topps Chrome name, or do you think that they should just try and figure out a new product and or kind of stick with what collectors maybe they like it, maybe they don't? I guess it's really up for debate, because it's like, it's not like these products, like people are buying the products, so it's like that's maybe one of the things, I guess, is maybe a reason why they're doing it. But at the same time, it's like I do wish that there was a little bit of innovation.
I think it's too much.
Yeah, okay. Actually, I'll kick to Logan first. Mike, you were muted there for a second, but yeah, Logan, go ahead.
Yeah, I just think it's too much. I'm waiting for the poop emoji Chrome to come out. It's just ridiculous. A lot of it. I get it that they've got all these licenses and things to pay for, so they've got to issue as many different types and flavors as they can. But I'm just not a fan. I think it's just too much.
And then, yeah, sorry, Mike, you were muted there for a second, so I'll kick it to you with that same question.
My fault. Sorry about that. Yeah, I think the Cosmic Chrome, I don't have any Cosmic Chrome, but I've seen the designs of them, and they're very different. They're very unique. I'm cool with that because it is unique. It's not just taking the same cards and doing something very, very similar. I'm not sure about Sapphire, if those are the same exact photos of the players, but I also understand you've got branding, and everybody knows Chrome, so that's their branding. It's really important to them.
Yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense. I can see why people might like it. I can see why people don't like it. That's honestly, like, if you've ever listened to me talk about anything, I think that's basically my stance on basically everything for the most part. Like, I can see it from both directions of why it's good and why maybe it's not so good. Like I said, shout out to everybody in the comments. We got Rex commenting in from New Buffalo. Very exciting. Got us up on the big screen at the shops. Shout out to Rex. Really appreciate that. The card shop. One of the writers, I believe, on Hobby News Daily as well. So that's that's always exciting. If you're commenting, make sure you let us know where you're watching from. That's always exciting to see the growth of the show and where everybody is watching from. I know in the past we've had people from different countries. We've had people from all over the United States. So that's always exciting to see. Also, make sure to hit like and subscribe here on YouTube, or if you're on Facebook or I guess Twitter, you could retweet the show if you could do that. That would be really great. So we're going to actually kind of kick it over to, we got Ziggy here in Richmond, Virginia. That's very exciting. We're actually going to kick it to the second topic that we've got for the show today, and that's going to be let me pull up the tweet here again. Oops, this is too zoomed in. Sorry, everybody. Production fail here. Why is it not? Here we go. So PSA, essentially, I'll line it up for everybody. PSA is going to be add to stream here. PSA is going to be partnering with ComC. very, exciting to see. I think ComC is one of the best sites to buy and sell if you're new in the hobby. I mean, it's you aren't really dealing with the shipping, or you're dealing with some fees, but like you're not dealing with the anxiety of your cards going in the mail, all that kind of stuff. I think when I was first getting back into cards, ComC was really one of the websites that I used when I was first getting back into it. Not even just to buy and sell, but to do like research to like learn about what cards are what, and which rookie cards were what rookie cards, because you can just type in a player and you can look at basically all the cards they have on their site. And it's only grown really since I kind of got back into sports cards back in like 2018, 2019-ish. And so it's really grown how many cards they have. And it's actually, it's commendable in my opinion that they have been able to kind of stay the course and not really stray away like the way that we've seen maybe some other companies try and do this. So we'll start off with you, Logan. What are your kind of initial thoughts here? Is this something that intrigues you? What do you think of this merger, or not merger, but what do you think of the partnership here?
I think it's a great partnership. The question is how much is this service going to cost? I don't know how much it's going to be. I already belong to the Collectors Club, so I can already get, I guess, the best pricing you can get from PSA. But there is a convenience there, I think, having your cards already at ComC, and you don't have to have them sent back to you, then sent back out to PSA, because I do that a lot. There's a lot of cards I'll buy off of ComC. I'll finally get them back here to the mothership, and then I'll pack them back up and send them to PSA. So that's going to be convenient, but of course, I'm sure we're going to pay for that convenience. It'll be interesting to see how much this service is going to cost me. It still may be cheaper for me to bring them home and then send them back out. I don't know. We'll see, but I like the idea, and I think it's great. I think it's great for the hobby. The only thing is you're buying cards out there that you have never touched or held, so you don't really know what the real condition is of these cards.
That's a good point.
So there could be a hairline crease you don't know about, or a ding on a corner that you really can't see, or something. So I don't know if that's going to keep people from sending them in because they don't know what the actual real condition of the card is. I mean, I know that you can zoom in on cards on ComC, but that doesn't always tell the complete picture. So right. I think it's good.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. Before I kick it over to you, Mike, I want to give some shout outs to people in the comments here. We got Jim says he's watching from his kitchen in West Virginia. We got Chris, who is in Northern California. Mad City Brew in Madison, Wisconsin. Shout out. Then you got US Sports Cards love ComC as a buyer, not as much as a seller. We got another person in California, Chuck R. We got Philly Joe commenting from Philadelphia. Always fun to see that. And I think those were all the shout outs. And then so we got a Salem, Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Let's see if we got any other Carlos from New York City, always exciting. Thank you, appreciate it. Silver Fox this is what I was saying. Hobby News Daily Hobby Hotline. I get those confused because I do the other show. Is worldwide, so I really appreciate everybody leaving their comments. We also have Victor coming into the background here, but I'll kick it over to you, Mike, and then we'll bring Victor on and we'll see kind of what he's got going on. So, Mike, what are your initial thoughts here?
Yeah, so Logan nailed it. I would be concerned, especially buying modern and ultra modern cards, that the photos and somebody Ziggy put a comment about how they provide notes and each card scan is unique, but still having it in your hands is so crucial when making a decision on grading an ultra modern card. Now, vintage, I'd be okay with it, and that's mostly what I'm buying anyway. But and then US Sports Cards up above also said, and I think this is right, this is what I read too, $24 per card. So I don't know if that's tiered in any way, or if it's just $24 for any card. I don't know.
Sure. Yeah, I guess we'll see. I mean, I think vaulting in general, in my opinion, it's always been something that another Californian coming in, Ventura, exciting. It's always something that I thought the hobby was kind of going to, and I can see both sides of the spectrum here. Why some people might really like it, some people might not really like it. Like I think people who really like getting the cards, and I mean, I think there's probably people who even like buying and selling cards on eBay, like getting the cards, shipping. It's kind of it's a business, but it's also can be fun for people. But I can see how there's also the other spectrum where I get really nervous. Like I'm checking my I'm checking my USPS trackings every single hour, basically, to be like, where is it now? Like, is it going to get there? Like, because you see all these horror stories of like, I think Eric from Whiteback from Collectible Guru, I think his name is, on Twitter.
Yep.
He posted like a crazy card. Like it was a Ronaldo PSA 8 or PSA 9. No, it wasn't, but it was a Ronaldo rookie card that had been sent through the mail, and like it had been like cut on the corner, and it just gave me the shivers. I was just like, oh my gosh, I can't imagine that happening. So we're gonna bring Victor in here. Victor, how we doing?
Good morning, gentlemen.
Wow, it's Victor.
Yes, sir. Good morning to all the hobbyists out there in the chat. I just wanted to hop on real quick for a minute to promote our Baseball Card Hall of Fame. This is actually the 6th annual Baseball Card Hall of Fame. The ballot is currently live. There are 40 cards on the ballot. You're allowed to vote for up to 10 cards, and we're asking that you only vote once. But really excited about this year's ballot. The link to the ballot, hopefully you got it there, Adam. But it's live. It went live on July 14th, and it's going to remain live until August 4th. When August 4th comes, we will close the ballot, and on August 6th, we will be doing the induction ceremony over on our Sports Card Hall of Fame Network channel, so you can check out the actual results there. But really excited, trying to push this and promote this out to the hobby, getting a lot of momentum. This thing's been growing, seems like year after year, and just wanted to make everybody aware of that.
Absolutely. And I'm actually going to put the comment in the chat here, or the link. You can just copy and paste that link, or Victor, if you want to tweet that out, I can promote your tweet as well if you want to do that. Yep. That might be a little bit easier than if people want to do that rather than copying and pasting there. So if you want to like tweet that out, I'll definitely, and then if you drop it, just let us know whenever that's tweeted out, and then I can definitely promote that as well. I mean, yeah, it's such a, it's I think you did this with football as well, so this will be for baseball, correct? That's what you were saying, it was for baseball.
Correct.
Yeah, so it's fun, I think, to kind of bring to light sort of history, basically, and like fun, like cards that are cards that maybe some people don't even know that these cards exist potentially. So it's because maybe if they're a little bit older, maybe they're out of the generation, all these kinds of things. So I mean, it's definitely really exciting. You do this for football and doing it for baseball now, so it's definitely something that hopefully everybody checks out and picks their cards. There's tons of actually let me actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I can just
yeah, and Adam, you're touching on kind of like the entire purpose of all of this, right? And what we've done is, when I say we, I'm talking Ray from Philly, Mike Steveline, and what we're doing is we basically have taken the principles of or the mission statement of the Baseball Card Hall of Fame, which is the Baseball Hall of Fame, which is preserve history, honor excellence, and passing it on to the next generation. And that's kind of what we're doing with this, except we're twisting it with a flavor of the hobby, right? We're taking the cards that have, what we're doing is we're honoring history. We're looking back at the history of cards, and we're honoring those cards that have meant something to us, that have impacted the hobby, right? But at the same time, we're also honoring hobby excellence, cards that have really stood out the test of time within the hearts and minds of collectors, cards that are really have this artistic design to it, that their images are kind of seared into the hearts and minds of collectors. And what we're doing is that we're creating this list, not created by some publication, but created by hobbyists in an annual vote, so that the next generation can go back to, say, 10, 20, 30 years from now, and they're asking those types of questions. What are the most important cards throughout history? And they'll be able to see that in our vote.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's definitely like you were saying, I think the history behind a lot of these cards and actually, I think it's probably a great list to even, just check out, even if you're learning about baseball cards, because, from my perspective, anytime there's a chance to learn something new with whether it's this or whether it's a new piece of content, I'm always in favor of pushing people to learn something new, to either find maybe there's a card of a player that you never knew about, or maybe there's a player that you always heard about and you never knew that there's a card that exists. And I think that's kind of another great part about this list that you've put together, and kind of all the voting and stuff like that. Definitely very exciting.
And thanks, Adam. And we've also, we take the ballot and we try to represent every era, right? So it's not like all pre-war, it's not all vintage, but it's like every era is represented. So you'll have a broad scope of choices to choose from. That's why we do 40 cards.
Right, exactly.
Yep.
And then, I do have sort of a question. So is this correct? It ended at the Ichiro Albert Pujols 2001. Was there a specific era that you guys were looking at when you were putting this together, or was it kind of like just? I guess these are it says new on them on the list here, but so like, was there like a cutoff date when you were looking at the cards that you want to include on this list? Because 2001, there are some probably decent cards that have come after that, but I think that 2001, in my opinion, top set is actually, I don't know if it's like underrated or if it's very iconic with Ichiro, with that Ichiro card. I mean, that's actually one of the first sets I really remember collecting, if I'm going to be completely honest, when I was like a kid. So for me, that's a really iconic set. But like, did you guys have a cutoff date, and that's why 2001 was kind of the last year on that list?
Not necessarily. We have cards that are, we have Mike Trout made it into, I believe, the second year of, or maybe it was the first year that we done it. But we have more modern cards in the Hall of Fame already. So there really isn't a cutoff date. It's really the voice of the people. So our kind of process is there's 40 cards on the ballot. So 10 of them are going to get inducted this year. That brings 30 cards remaining. We take the bottom 5% cards that didn't really make the cut. Those five cards are removed from the ballot as well. So that leaves us now with 25. And then what we do is throughout the year, we take recommendations from other hobbyists for next year's ballot. So on the following ballot, we have 15 slots that we need to fill. We need 15 cards to create that year's ballot. And that's kind of, it's the voice of the hobby. Whatever they recommend for us to put on the ballot, we will sit down and consider. And if it makes the cut, we include it into the next ballot.
Absolutely. Great. I mean, thank you so much for coming on, Victor. You're going to be at the National? Are you going to be there?
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Yeah, he'll be there.
That's good to hear. Absolutely love that. So anything else that you want to like shout out, Victor, before we let you go here?
That's it, man. I appreciate you guys' time. Have fun.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thank you for coming on, Victor.
You got it.
See you soon.
Yeah, I'm voting for the 84 Fleer Glenn Hubbard card.
Nice.
The snake card. I actually have that card in a PSA 10, so I do like that card.
So
and
you're obligated. You're obligated to vote for that card, basically.
I am obligated, but I can't wait to hear the induction speeches from the cards.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, right. Yeah, we'll get some AI generated speeches, because I think there was when AI was very not even really necessarily primitive. It was I think there was one where I saw a video of the what was it, the Honus Wagner singing some random song. I think it was yeah. So and now they probably somehow they could get actually real Honus Wagner to talk about the cards, because that's just how crazy AI has gotten. And which I mean, that's a whole nother topic for another day, is how crazy AI has gotten. So I'm going to kick it back to actually the PSA conversation here. And like I was saying, so with vaulting, in my opinion, I always thought that vaulting was sort of, I guess, the future. I mean, that's one way that I honestly thought sort of that the hobby would move towards. Now, hearing people's opinions within the hobby, I can see how people would be opposed to it, because they want the physical card. They want to be able to hold the card in their hand. They don't want to vault it at all. But I think the the digital trading aspect of the cards themselves, I always thought was a really smart innovation. And it was, at the time, it's not even necessarily really an innovation. Like ComC has been doing this for so long, and they kind of, in my opinion, they're a hobby leader in this area, because we've seen companies come and go. I mean, unfortunately, Star Stock just is one example that I can think of off the top of my head that seemed like a company that had a decent amount of promise with a similar business model of having a vault. And, they had this, they had a really great website. They had all this kind of stuff. And then they sort of veered off the path. I thought that they didn't really stick to what they originally built the site as. And, ComC has kind of stayed the path and sort of built a site that it works. I mean, that's, I think another thing, and I think in their tweet here they said 30 million cards. I think that's probably the number they have on their platform. I think that there's a lot of. It's similar to was it Golden? Yeah, I think like with Golden's Vault essentially. I think that there's a lot of potential for maybe someone to come in and potentially buy ComC, or work with them on building maybe a different site or something along these lines. Because like it's not necessarily that the site is hard to use. It's actually pretty much all laid out, and I think it's fairly simple to use. But they haven't really updated the site, I guess, is maybe one of the things I've noticed about them. But at the same time, like I think the site works really well, like once you get to know it. So Mike, I'll throw it to you. Like, what are your thoughts on like vaulting, I guess, in general? Like, do you like it? Do you not like it? Are you in the half and half like you are with me? Like, what do you think?
Well, when you talk about vaults, do you mean like I send a card to the PSA vault or something like that?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, because like then you can have the marketplace where you can buy and sell the card without actually having the card in your hands, basically.
So I do that with ComC. I have a ComC, I think they call it a port or whatever. I have a ComC account, and I have, I don't know, dozens, if not hundreds of cards there. I'm going to send some more cards. I think that ComC fits in a niche. I never know how to pronounce that word, of certain level of value of cards. And they make it super easy. I know you're the web design guy, but they make it super easy to price your cards and to search and filter on cards that you're looking for. So if I want a Shane McClanahan, I collect McClanahan rookie card that's numbered and not graded. It's easy in the filters just to click, 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 and boom, there are the 9 cards that fit.
Right.
But sending I don't really deal in high level cards very much. So sending cards to a vault to trade with people wouldn't appeal to me, but it's I think it's a cool addition to the hobby.
Right. And Logan, I'll kick it to you as well. I think maybe you sort of mentioned this before Victor came on, but like with ComC, is it something that's in your wheelhouse or your repertoire when you're buying and selling cards? Or are you mainly just buying and selling from shows or eBay so that way you can get the stuff and have it like on hand?
Well, I mean, first of all, when you look at ComC, they are pretty much in a way they're kind of like you said, they're a vaulting service, but it's like an open vault. It's things that you can see all the time. It's unlike some of the other vaults where you have your own personal collection and you're vaulting it, and really nobody else can see that unless you trade it or sell it or have it brought back from the vault or whatever you're going to do with it. I do use ComC. I like ComC a lot. I have a lot of cards up there that I have never never touched in real life that need to come home. But I'm not an investor. I'm a buyer. I don't sell. I mean, you can ask anybody. I really don't sell cards. I just buy cards for my own personal collection. I guess one day when I retire in the next 3 or 4 years, maybe I might sell some cards here or there. I don't know. But I like ComC a lot. I like Tim and all those guys there, Andy and everybody. I do think that there is a need for a service like ComC, and it's an easy thing to do. I mean, once you have cards up there, I've actually sent cards or to other people and things like that. I do like ComC. I'm not a big fan of vaults like Golden or eBay or any of those vaulting services, because again, I'm a touchy-feely guy. I gotta have the cards in my hand. I want my cards, and if you're doing that it's almost kind of, it's not an NFT because there is a physical representation of the card, but it's still kind of almost an NFT because you're only seeing it digitally. You're not seeing it in real life. I'm just not a fan. I mean, I think those tools that they have, those vaults for PSA and Golden and eBay, all those are more, I think, in a way geared towards people who are investing. ComC is more of an everyday man's platform.
Right. Yeah, and I think actually I want to highlight one of Ziggy's comments here about trading on ComC, and that's kind of something that I've been thinking about as well. Like if a company, whichever company can figure out like trading, I think that's going to be a pretty big innovation within the hobby. Like, because you may even have you'll have virtual trade nights, basically. Like you'll be able to, like, I guess this is me sort of brainstorming and kind of thinking things off the cuff here. But like, if you were able to go to, a trade night at the National and you had your ComC or your Golden or whatever vault, and you had each card maybe has like a QR code, and actually it's, what it is, it's like I'm not sure if you guys have done this or if this is in your generation, but like Pokemon, you could connect the Game Boys with like and some people in the audience may know what I'm talking about, but like back in the day with the Game Boy Advances, you could play Pokemon, and if you had a cord, you could connect the two Game Boys, and you could trade. You could actually trade Pokemon with to your friends. So I think it would be kind of similar. Obviously, I don't know if there's a cord or whatever, if it's how they would do it. This is where some company needs to think of how to do it. I will be expecting some sort of residual check from whichever company thinks about this, because this was my idea, and maybe I should patent it or something. But you could get like a QR code that represents your card, and somebody on one end could scan it, and then you could scan their card on the other end, and then it maybe goes to like the third party within the app or something. I just think that there's a lot of potential within trading. It's not necessarily, I don't do a lot of trading just because I mean, I don't know, I do more buying and selling, I guess, necessarily, but like whatever company can figure out, I guess, trading the best, that's going to be probably a pretty big innovation, hopefully within the hobby. I suppose that's maybe one of the new, I don't know if a company, I guess, would be able to figure that out or how they would be able to do it. If any companies have if they need any ideas, just come to me, and I'll only charge you like about $1 million a year for my ideas. It's total. Fanatics, for example, if they want to come, only $1 million. That's all I'm asking here. Or just pay off all my student loans. Either one of the two.
Well, Upper Deck EPAC, you can trade there. That's a trading platform that you can trade on that. I mean,
exactly.
It's not solely a trading platform, but you can trade on it.
Right. Definitely.
I want to address U.S. Sports Cards comment there. Isn't the National trying to eliminate trade nights? Card Porn tweeted out earlier today that they were in touch with the people who run the National, and they deny that that's true. They have seen the rumors, and they say that the rumors are not true. They are not trying to eliminate trade nights at all.
Yep, I saw that last night on Twitter. Yes, they are not trying to eliminate that. I think it's only a good thing. And I don't see how you can try to eliminate free trade anyway, in any form or fashion.
Yeah, I from what I saw, I think that they were talking about the hotels in the area weren't allowing people to like hang out in the lobbies or use like the conference areas, which is where a lot of the like after hours trade nights have kind of end up going to. And I think that's sort of, but we'll see. I mean, realistically, I mean, I'd hate to be like to try and stop us, but like I'll be interested to see if people still try and do like the trade nights in like the lobbies of the hotels and see how that goes, because I don't know. I mean, that's it, if you go to those, like it's packed. It's like it's basically just as almost just as packed as some of the National, like some of the show like itself. Like the National's still spread out. You're not necessarily bumping into people on some of the days, but I guess we'll see what happens. I mean, I think there's like a couple hotels within the area, like within kind of that Rosemont Convention Center, that we'll see how it goes. I mean, if I don't necessarily know. I mean, I don't necessarily know. I mean, I think there was that funny video. I think like Ric Flair or something. I don't know if you guys saw this video from like the Chicago. Maybe it was last year's National, or is the 2021 National in Chicago. Like Ric Flair was like leaving one of the hotel hotels during the trade night. Everyone was like wooing him as he was going. It was like it was a pretty funny video that surfaced. I think either last national or the national before that. And yeah, like I said, I mean, speaking of the national, we'll kind of get into, I guess, our excitement for it. I mean, it's one of the best shows. I mean, Chicago, I think, is the best venue that they have for the national. So the two other nationals that I've gone to have been in Chicago, and it's my favorite venue. I just walk in. I remember the first time walking in, just looking around and being like, "Whoa, this is like crazy. This is so awesome." So Mike, I'll kick it to you first. Like, what are you excited for? Like, I know that's kind of a broad question, but like, do you have any, like, what's the number one thing on your list that you're trying to do once you get there?
Meeting a bunch of new people is the most exciting part. People don't really want to hear about that type of thing, though. But I am going to the YouTube get-together Thursday night with all the YouTube personalities and people who aren't necessarily on YouTube but want to hang out with people that they watch. And then the most exciting thing to me is just walking the floor and seeing cards that are way out of my price range. The rare cards, the really cool stuff. I love that stuff. I'll be putting out videos with things like that on my YouTube channel for probably a week past the show.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I always tell this story at the 2021 National. I had brought like a bunch of cards I was looking to sell, and then I was like looking at someone's booth, like preparing myself to be like, "Hey, do you want to buy some of this stuff?" And then some kid walked up with like one of those like card cases, and he pulled out like 3 different Patrick Mahomes RPAs. I'm like, okay, I think I'm just gonna not try and sell anything. Like I got like seller's anxiety because I was just like this 12-year-old has Patrick Mahomes RPAs. I'm trying to sell like a promotional Charizard that I pulled out of one of those random tins. I'm like, for like $10. It's like they're in a whole nother league than I am. So Logan, I'll kick it to you as well. Like kind of same question. What's like the number one thing you got on your list that you're excited for the national coming up in this upcoming week?
Well, the national has, the older I've gotten, the national has become more like Christmas for me. As far as used to be when I was a kid during Christmas, it was all about the presents. Now it's all about being with my family. It's the same thing now for the national. I can't wait to see all of my friends. This will be, I think, my 19th national. So I can't wait to see you guys, everybody. I've got so many friends. I will probably spend the majority of my time just hanging out with my friends, talking, hugging, just hanging out and having fun. And that's the thing I'm looking forward to absolutely the most, for sure.
Yeah, I'm basically in the same boat as you. Like, I don't really honestly do like I just said in my example. I don't do much buying and selling at the show because it's just like I can't even compete with these 12-year-olds, so I'm not even going to try to. And I think that was both of your examples there, Mike and Logan, was just meeting people and seeing people maybe for the first time, maybe seeing them for the first time in a while. Like, that was one of the things that really I was so like in 2021 after the national got canceled in 2020. That was one of the things that really was. I think that was my favorite part of the national was just seeing all these people that I had built friendships with online. And that was even before I did Hobby Hotline. So like now I've got like a whole nother like Hobby Hotline and Hobby News Daily. I've got like a whole nother like crew of like 30 or 40 people that I'm going to be probably meeting for the first time. So that's going to be like super exciting. So Mike, I'll ask you this, like, from a buying and selling perspective, like, do you have anything on your list that you're looking to buy? Like, is that something that you're planning on doing while you're there?
Yeah, on the low level, I'm looking for more PSA slabs of Carl Yastrzemski during his playing years. But on the high level, I'm looking for like Ted Williams playing years cards, 1950s. I'm not into the 40s yet. And I want a low grade Jackie Robinson 56 tops, maybe things like that. That's like my high end card that I will buy. So yeah, those are the things that I'm really looking for the most is 50s and maybe some 60s Yaz cards.
Nice. And I mean, same question to you, Logan. Is there anything that you are looking to buy while you're there? Like, is that something that you got on your agenda?
Yeah, I mean, they say that there's something there for everybody at the national, and that is true because I'm a NASCAR collector. It's a very niche market, but there is going to be a good bit of NASCAR stuff there. And the things I'm going to be looking for especially are like Dale Earnhardt Sr. autographs, any kind of other rare autographs, maybe some Richard Petty, things like that. any other rare issues. Like last year, I picked up a couple of McDonald's sets that were autographed, that were NASCAR sets from the early 90s, which included Dale Earnhardt Sr. So that was a nice pickup. So there's always something. The thing that Val and I like to do is when we hit the ground on Tuesday afternoon, we're going to get there. We'll be in there before the show opens. We're going to start going down each aisle, and he'll take one side, I'll take the other, and we'll ask everybody in there, do you have any NASCAR cards? Or, and we do collect some Formula One, but a lot of people, believe it or not, get that confused when you say, do you have any NASCAR cards? They'll whip out Formula One cards.
Yeah.
And that happens a lot. Or they leave them at home. But anyway, right. we will be able to find a good bit of cards to buy. I've got some cash, just a little bit of cash, but last year I had a good national. I found a lot of Earnhardt Senior autos and a lot of nice cars and sets. And plus, the other thing I'm looking for, and I mean, I don't know if any of you guys out there, I know that some people out there do follow me on Twitter. I have what's called my sophomoric slabs showcase on PSA Set Registry, and what it basically is just a showcase of funny cards, like the Glenn Hubbard card. I have that card, so it's all these cards that are funny names like Dick Pole and Dick Felt and all these things. So I'll be looking for funny cards too, funny looking cards or funny name cards. I'll be doing that. So yeah, I've got a lot to do between hanging out with my friends, looking for cards. It's going to be busy for sure, but it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I guess we'll kind of maybe go around now. We've round robin with a couple tips, couple tricks. I'll kind of start it off. If you are looking, if you are like Logan or you're like Val and you're kind of walking around and you see a card that you might want to pick up, or you see a showcase that has a bunch of the cards, my suggestion is make sure you're writing down the booth number, because there is 100, because for the most part, most booths are going to look all very similar, and you probably will forget which booth had the card that you were looking for. Also, another maybe tip or a trick is, like, if you are looking for a card that's very common, it might be worth waiting until later on in the week to buy that card. In my opinion, because you probably are going to get dealers who are willing to give you a deal on a card later on in the week, because most of the dealers, they're coming to sell everything. Like there probably are some dealers who are buying, but for the most part, all the dealers, they're going there to sell, and they don't want to bring anything back. Like they don't want to, they already traveled with all these cards. They don't really want to bring anything back. So if you're there on like a late Saturday, or you're there on Sunday, there's a decent shot that you probably can get some of the cards a little bit cheaper than you would have maybe if you were there on a Wednesday or a Thursday. And those are kind of my main little tips there. Mike, I'll kick it over to you. Like, do you have any, what are some of your tips and tricks? Do you have like one or two things that you would like to share with the audience, and kind of maybe someone who's going to the National for the first time? Do you have any tips for them?
Well, this is just my second National. I went last year when it was in Atlantic City. It's driving distance for me. And there was no internet access. There's no cellular, no nothing. And so I was anticipating the same thing, because I've heard the same thing about Chicago. And I created a spreadsheet of all the cards that I'm targeting and reasonable prices within various grades I would look for. I've heard that there might be cellular access there this time. I'm not sure, but I'm still prepared, knowing comps, the values that I would be willing to pay for the cards that I'm looking for. Now, I'm also going to just buy things that I don't know the values for, and that's part of the joy, I guess.
Yeah, don't rely. You like it is weird nowadays to kind of have to rely on like stuff offline, I suppose you could call it. Like, you should like build your plan out as if you are planning, and you probably won't have as much cell service as you're expecting. I think that's kind of another good point. At Chicago, the last time that I was there, it was fine. Like I was doing a lot of like TikToks and like videos, and like I was fine posting them. I wasn't really running into an issue. Bring battery chargers. That's another kind of good thing. I think if you are, if you're going to be planning on recording content, you're planning on going to be maybe potentially using your phone to like look up comps, bring like an extra charger if you have it, just so that way you don't have to like leave and come back to charge your phone. So, Logan, I'll let you go here. You're obviously a veteran of the National. what are, if someone's maybe going for the first time, or maybe it's their first couple times, what are some tips that you have for people that are going to be going to this show?
My biggest thing is, if you really want a quiet, nice bathroom, go to the bathroom upstairs. That's a big thing. Getting back to what you were talking about making lists and things. This was from last year. I don't know if you can see this. This was on my phone. As I went through and found booths, those are the things that I saw. So I knew exactly where to go back and exactly where to go find these things, because you're right. And this year, it's going to be even bigger. It's a third size bigger. I think they went from 400,000 square feet to 600,000 square feet.
Yeah, I think they opened up a wing that hadn't previously been open, I think.
So yes, so it's going to be even bigger, and so I mean, you're going to have a hard time if you think you know an area where it's at. Trust me, I've been there, done that. I thought I knew where something was.
Yeah.
Wrong. I never saw it again. So that's why I do make these lists. But I'll tell you some of the basic things that I do. I mean, I take the snacks and food there are well overpriced. It's just ridiculous. So I always have a couple bottles of water with me in my backpack. I'll have some, like granola bars or a Snickers bar or something to eat with me. It's not that I'm cheap. It's just that, I can keep drinking water and eating my snacks as I'm walking. I don't have to go to the snack bar, sit down and do something. Plus it is, like I said, it is very pricey. So that's one thing. And of course, everybody talks about the comfortable shoes, that you've got to have those. If you don't, your feet, you will be dying there because the floors are concrete. The only place that's really going to have any soft flooring of any consequence is going to be tops. They're going to have their really nice cushy carpet. So that's always nice to go in there. And it's like, that feels so good. But it's a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to see everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I think another kind of random tip that actually I'm going to be doing this year. I haven't done it in the past, is I'm going to be getting those like little liquid IV like pouches, because like whether you think it or not, like if you're going to be walking around the show all day, you're probably going to get a little bit dehydrated, to be honest. Like, 10,000 steps. I mean, I try and do the 10,000 steps because I have the Fitbit or whatever, and I like seeing little explosions when I get 10,000 steps every day, and it vibrates, and I look and I'm like, all right, nice, 10,000, there we go. You're going to be at 20,000 for some days there, because you're walking around, you're going to all the different booths, and I mean, like you said, they expanded the space of this year's show, and I mean, even it's very easy to get lost. I know a couple times I've been like walking around and I'm like, okay, I'll try and walk from one end to the other, because I'm like trying to go from one booth to like maybe like the stage or something. And I think this was maybe the first year that I went. I was like half paying attention, and I was I don't know why I was doing this. I was like kind of following somebody, like, because I thought that maybe they were going in the right direction for some reason, but I was just using my phone, and I kept like taking left, and then I look up and I'm back where I started. It's like, it's very easy to get lost in that venue. So, compared to Atlantic City, Mike, Chicago is actually my favorite venue. So, what's something that you're looking forward to, maybe, I guess, compared to last year's National versus this year's, Mike?
Well, I've heard that Chicago is tighter, but then they've opened up 50% more floor space, according to you guys. So maybe that'll help. Hopefully that'll help. And they didn't just pack in a lot more stuff. I'm excited to see what the floor space looks like. I enjoy the corporate booths, and Ziggy is talking about giveaways. I didn't see any giveaways last year, but I was only there for one day, and I'm excited to spend more time actually roaming around the show, which I didn't really have a whole lot of time to last year. I just went to a bunch of tables of cards that I was like, the eras that I was looking for, and that was about it.
Yeah, you will have like the silver packs, which come with, like, if you buy either, I think it's like, it depends, like there are different lists of what you need to buy at like the Topps booth or the Panini booth to get like one of the exclusive National packs, which some years they have like National exclusive cards in those packs, and some years they just have like random more rare cards in those packs. But yeah, I mean, so the silver packs are always, pretty exciting. I don't know what it'll be this year. I think I bought an Optic baseball from Panini just so I could get the silver packs. It was like, I'm not even gonna lie, it was like one of the worst products I've ever opened. It was just like I didn't like, because it's it's the we lost Logan there. Probably the internet kicked out for a second, but yeah, it's those silver packs are definitely fun to see. You're going to see all the breakers there. Maybe join a break if you want to, and you can see them do the break live. That's probably going to be pretty exciting. And like I said, you will also be able to see us Hobby Hotline on the main stage. Basically same time that we usually do the show. I think it's an hour. I think it's an hour. How does Mike? How does it work? Is it? It's an hour behind. So 11 a.m. would be noon, or is it?
You got it.
Okay,
Yeah,
so it's actually an hour ahead of when we usually are doing the show on Saturdays. But that's going to be exciting. I mean, I'm sure
an hour after.
Okay, you're right. It'll be like noon Eastern, which 11 Central or whatever. So it's just basically an hour different. This next Saturday, that's when we'll be doing our live show. I'm not totally sure what our plan is. Like I said, if there's if people in the comments are there and they want to shout out their comments, like or whatever they want to do. I'm not sure if we're going to be live streaming. I think we should probably be. I think the National has a stream where they stream the people that are on the stage. So I'm not 100% sure if we will if we'll be live, or if our channel will be live, or if we'll be live on the National. I mean, honestly, just check out our social media, like at Hobby Hotline, to see. I'm sure somebody will probably tweet out if we're live, or however you can watch the show if you're unfortunately not going to be at the National. I think we're going to wrap things up here actually on today's show. We're getting close to that hour mark, and I think since we lost Logan there, I don't know where he went. I'll kick to you, Mike, with your final thoughts. Like, what do you got? Like, give your shout outs to anybody you're looking to give shout outs to. What are your kind of final thoughts for today's episode?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, Ziggy's got a lot of good advice here. He says Whatnot had huge giveaways. Remember last year's 286 Fleer box pack giveaways? I'm waiting. They emailed me a couple of months ago about something that they're going to be doing in their booth. It sounded really interesting, and I haven't seen any details on it yet. But if I end up getting those, it was so interesting. I might do a video on that on my channel in the next couple of years. Then they did another 86 Fleer in the next couple of days, I should say. Sorry, not next couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
It just was really unique, which is obviously what they're trying to do. But selling, it's a Michael Jordan theme is all I can say at this point, because that's really all that I know.
Gotcha. Yeah, makes sense. And my final thoughts here for the show is, if you are going to be at the National, like, say hi. What my tip is actually, when I went to the 2021 National, I didn't take any pictures, and I actually regretted not taking pictures with people, because, like, I don't know, I was like nervous or something. I don't know what it was, but when I said hi to a bunch of people, but I didn't ask for a picture. I don't know. But if you see people that just get pictures, because in the grand scheme of things, I wish I had asked more people to take pictures together. So yeah, just if you are seeing people that that online, or you're seeing people that you follow their content, just go up to them, say hi. I would say for the most part, you're gonna have a ton of great interactions with people. I mean, we got Logan. See if he can come in. Yep, we're gonna add him back in here. Logan, welcome back.
Wow, my internet connection just dropped. I don't know what happened.
Maybe not great timing, but good timing that now you're back, because we're wrapping things up, and we're kind of giving our final thoughts here. So just my basically final thought is just go up to the people that you have seen online, or that you're friends with, and just make sure you say hello to as many people as you can, because that's kind of the great thing about this. It's like everybody within the hobby, for the most part, is going, you're going to have a chance to meet them. Just go say hi, be friendly, all this type of stuff. So, Logan, I'll kick it to you last year. Do you have any final thoughts on today's episode going into the National? Just final thoughts in general.
All I can say is I'm very excited. This is literally my favorite coming up. This is my favorite week of the year. I look forward to this more than anything, more than Christmas, more than anything. Because I'm a lifelong hobbyist. I've been collecting since I was 11 years old, since 1971. So it's been a long time, and I just thoroughly enjoy it. It's what I love. It's what I live for. So I can't wait to get there. Can't wait to see everybody. I will say one thing. I remember the very first time that I met Jeremy Lee. I didn't realize how tall he was. I don't know if y'all have ever met Jeremy in real life.
Yeah.
But Jeremy, also I look up and go, that's Jeremy. And it was something. So seeing everybody, there's gonna be a lot of people I've never ever seen in real life, and that's going to be fun. I can't wait. So
Definitely.
if you guys see me out there, just stop me and let's talk and just have fun.
Absolutely. That's, I think I have shared the same sentiment as you. So I think that's a great way. We'll wrap up today's episode. I want to thank everybody. Like I said, make sure you check back. It'll be noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central Time at the National next week. We will be Hobby Hotline will be, I guess, here. I don't know if we'll be on the YouTube channel, but we'll see. But we'll be at the National. So make sure to check us out there. Thank you to everybody for watching. We will see you next week.